Abrasive and loud, yet for more than 100 years it has remained culturally significant and popular. I'm, of course, talking about the accordion, and with today being World Accordion Day, we want to sing this instrument's praises. And who better to do that with than an accordionists and music lovers in general? We hope you'll join the conversation. Do you play the accordion? Maybe you just love hearing it. You can call 1-800-716-2221 or email bluesky@cbc.ca. But first, here's Jesse Anton with the CBC News.
Thanks, Leisha, and good afternoon. The Premier is responding to the political party donation numbers that came out last week. They show the Sask Party raised $3.6 million last year. That's compared to the $1.4 million raised by the opposition NDP. And the Saskatchewan United Party, which only has one member in the legislature, brought in $500,000. That includes $200,000 from a company with ties to the party's deputy leader. Premier Scott Moe addressed the numbers at a business summit in Regina today.
The results, very much speak for themselves, and it isn't money that ultimately translates into votes, not at all. What it takes ultimately is people supporting your party.
In Saskatchewan, corporations, associations, and unions are allowed to donate to political parties. Meanwhile, some other provinces have put a limit on how much money can be donated, or they've banned these donations altogether. In Manitoba, a Winnipeg man charged with first-degree murder in the deaths of 4 women back in 2022 has admitted to the killings. But Jeremy Skrbicki's lawyers say he is not criminally responsible. Partial remains of one of the women were found at the Winnipeg dump, and police believe the remains of the other victims may be at another landfill. Josh Crabb reports.
Lawyers for Jeremy Skrbicki told a Manitoba court Monday morning their client admits to killing Morgan Harris, Mercedes Myron, Rebecca Contois, and a fourth unidentified woman given the name Mushkade Bishake Ikwe Ibon, or Buffalo Woman. Skrbicki has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder. His lawyers told court they plan to argue he's not criminally responsible for their deaths. His jury trial was set to begin Wednesday, but in light of the developments Monday, the Crown is consenting to a trial by judge alone. Prosecutors initially opposed trial by judge, but now agreed because they no longer have to prove Skrbicki caused the women's deaths. Outside court, Morgan Harris's cousin, Melissa Robinson, says hearing Skrbicki's admission was a shock, but it brought some relief to family members. They plan to take the day to reflect on what they heard in court. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
At 12:02 in Regina, it's mostly cloudy and 10 degrees. Saskatoon, light rain and 10 as well. This is CBC News. People in the southwest corner of Saskatchewan are told to brace for flash floods. A rainfall warning is in place for Shaunavon, Maple Creek, Val-Marie, and Cypress Hills. Environment Canada says those areas can expect between 50 and 75 millimeters of rain over the next 2 days. And surrounding communities are also likely to see from 25 to 50 millimeters. The heavy rain is set to move in this afternoon before the low-pressure system moves out Wednesday morning. And speaking of flash floods, the City of Regina has a new solution to a long-standing problem for downtown drivers after a heavy downpour. Alexander Kwan has those details.
If you've driven in Regina after a big rain, it's something you're probably familiar with. A vehicle stuck in water underneath a flooded Albert Street underpass. Flooding has been an issue in that spot for more than a century, and now the city is hoping a signal system will help prevent drivers from getting stuck. A sensor will now automatically trigger when there is a high risk of flooding. It will activate do not enter signs and force the traffic signals around the underpass to turn red. The system will also notify the City of Regina so its crews can respond to the flooding. The upgrade is slated to cost $185,000. SGI is chipping in $60,000 and the city will cover the rest. A larger fix to the flooding problem will have to wait until the city starts its upgrades to Saskatchewan Drive, but that's not set to get underway until 2027. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
In Saskatoon, the swale off McGorman Drive is now charred black. It comes after a grass fire last night. Rennie Grilt is the Meewasin Valley Authority's resource manager. He happened to be driving by at about 10 last night when he noticed the flames. Grilt says the wind was picking up and the fire was spreading by the time crews arrived to put it out.
Everything will recover quite well. It's these grasslands and these wetland edges are part of an ecosystem that uses fire as a rejuvenation process. And so everything will be probably greening up after the rains this week.
Grills checked in on the site this morning, and he says the fire burned an area of pasture land around 800 meters long and 200 meters wide. Warmer weather means many birds have made their way back to or through Saskatchewan. But with that journey comes collisions with windows. That's why Regina has its Bird Safe initiative. Every morning this week, volunteers are patrolling downtown for birds that had been injured or killed. Jeffrey Gamble is Vice President of Nature Regina. He's also the coordinator of Bird Safe initiative.
They start adding up over time. We've been doing the program since the fall of 2020 now, and we've collected over 200 birds, rescued 40, and have had over 45 different species already with our program.
It's estimated 1 billion birds fatally collided with windows in North America last year. And a live musical drama is coming to Swift Current to Maple Creek. New Blood tells the story of reconciliation through contemporary and traditional dance. It involves 40 performers, including high school students from Alberta. Deanne Bursch is the director of the production and a high school drama teacher. She says it's inspired by a chief of the Siksika Nation and his experience in residential school.
Based on Chief Vincent's life, but also on the stories of our students' grandparents, their journey through residential school and their journey of healing. And it's set to the music of Peter Gabriel, which seems like a strange choice, a British pop artist, but his lyrics connect really closely to the stories that we're telling.
Birch says the show sends a message about healing for Indigenous people in the wake of the residential grave discoveries. New Blood will travel through Swift Current to Maple Creek next Tuesday. And that's the news from CBC Saskatchewan.
Jesse, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's World Accordion Day. Are you marking it in any special way? Are you able to play us a tune? I hear you have an accordion.
Oh, goodness. I never thought I'd think about this accordion again. Yes, I inherited my grandmother's accordion. You know what? No one talks about how heavy they are. It's like 20, 30 pounds. A far cry from the clarinet I learned to play in elementary school. So yeah, it's sitting in a closet in my mom's basement and collecting dust. And I should really take it out and make a point to care about it a little bit more. How about you? Do you know how to play?
Well, I don't know how to play. I was going to say, so you can't play us a tune because you can't lift it up. That's the problem.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I personally do not have an accordion, but my dad has a small collection. So what am I waiting for? Yeah.
Well, that's just
we'll get to those stories in a bit. It's going to be fun today, Jesse. Thank you.
You bet.
That is the CBC's Jesse Anton. It is World Accordion Day, but we better talk about the weather first. And so it is cloudy and pretty rainy for south and central regions, expecting highs to range between 14 and reaching 17 degrees in some parts. More showers in the forecast tonight. Actually, quite a bit of rain, 5 to 10 millimeters, and a low of 10. In the north today, rainy as well, highs around 16. And tonight, good chance of showers with lows around 7. Right now in Saskatoon, it is lightly raining, sitting at 10, Regina, 10 degrees, and windy.
Hi, I'm Renee Dumont. You are listening to Blue Sky with Leisha Gorinsky. We are broadcasting at 102.5 FM from Treaty 4 territory in Regina, 94.1 in Treaty Territory 6 in Saskatoon, and 540 on the AM all across Saskatchewan.
Well, I may not be able to play the accordion, but I'd sure be willing to dance to that song. What you're hearing is Ollie's Waltz. It was a local hit in the 1950s, with 7 Sask stations rumored to have been playing it at its height. The composer, Olaf Sveen, a Norwegian accordionist who'd end up releasing the first ever LP in our province. In 1949, when he arrived in Canada, the accordion on his shoulder cost more than what he had in his pockets. So what is it about this instrument that makes it so beloved? Mocked at times for its cheesiness, these days it is still popular, and it is World Accordion Day. We want to celebrate it. Do you play the instrument? Maybe you just love hearing it in music. What do you think has helped the accordion stand the test of time? You can call 1-800-716-2221 or email bluesky@cbc.ca. So full disclosure, our Blue Sky team is very pro accordion. Our producer, Nicole Huck, comes from an accordion family. Her grandmother played it in a family band. Nicole even bought her own accordion a few years ago from a man in Melville with the goal of teaching herself how to play. I am Polish, so I come by it naturally. My dad used to pull out his accordion at the end of all of our birthday parties and play the one song he knew. But our affection for the accordion comes close to our affection for the accordion does not even come close to our colleagues. Taryn Cochran. He doesn't play it, but he loves everything about it and knows more about polka music and the accordion than can likely be considered healthy. Taryn is the reason we're having this accordion love-in today. He's in our Regina studio. Hi, Taryn.
Hey, Alicia. Thanks for having me on the EIEI show.
I was thrilled when you suggested this. I'm like, I'm in. Count me in. We also have in our Saskatoon studio Jillian Snyder. She plays the accordion in several bands, but her most well-known project is the Whiskey Jerks. She's brought her accordion with her today. Welcome to Blue Sky, Jillian.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
You can obviously lift yours up and play it.
Well,
not too heavy.
It's funny when you talk about heavy. I played 120 button in the prog rock band and another band, and actually had no idea how I was building up that muscle strength until I tried to do it a year later and couldn't even get through 2 songs. So this is a nice little 48 button.
48 button.
It's reasonable. I can do 2-3 sets with that strapped to my chest.
Okay.
And it's okay.
I love it. And then we also have a very special guest who may just be able to give Taryn a run for his money in the accordion knowledge department. Bruce Triggs is the author of Accordion Revolution, A People's History of the Accordion in North America from the Industrial Revolution to Rock and Roll. He's also the host of the show Accordion Noir Radio and has over 26,000 accordion songs on his laptop. Wow. And perhaps his biggest flex is that he is the reason there's an accordion emoji. Bruce Triggs, welcome to Blue Sky.
Thanks very much for having me.
Can't wait to hear that story. But I want to start with the same question for each of you. Maybe Taryn, I'll start with you. Where did your love of the accordion come from?
Well, Alicia, for me, a lot of it is, I feel that collectively our lives have a soundtrack. And for me, it's core happy memories in my life, whether it was the first song I can actually remember hearing being the chicken dance in my grandparents' kitchen, to my grandparents, another set of grandparents having their 50th wedding anniversary at the Melville of the Mares, or many polka rama dance nights with my grandmother. And so it always brings back happy memories when I hear it. And so it's my go-to. It's my serotonin shot to the brain and the heart when I want to be happy.
Oh, you'll be pleased to know that I was doing the chicken dance on the weekend. I was at a Polish party, awesome. And a friend who's also Polish requested the song because her kids didn't know it, and we were like, well, that can't happen. So there we were dancing the chicken dance on Saturday night.
It's a rite of passage in Canada. You have to know the chicken dance.
It really is. Jillian, what about you? Where did your love of the accordion come from?
Well, I came to it late. I mean, I was in my early 40s, and my roommate brought her mother's. That was in a closet gathering dust, and she felt bad that it was, so she asked if she could have it. Her mom said, you can have it, but she couldn't play it. And from the first time I put it on and tried it, I'm a big music theory nerd. So that's where my initial, love came. Yes. Because I looked at it and was like, this is a perfect instrument. It has everything laid out in the buttons, the cycle of fifths with your major, minor, dominant 7, diminished chords in the left hand. It's all, and then you've got this is a piano accordion. I still cannot fathom the organetto yet. I can't fathom the button accordion. They made it compact so that you could have 2 sounds coming out of one button. So bellowing in, bellowing out. I have one, and I know it makes sense somehow, but I cannot. I have a piano accordion that I play. So I started writing songs on it, and to get over my fear of playing on a stage, because I had a tremendous fear of playing in front of people, I started doing open mics with the songs I wrote on my accordion.
Wow.
And my daughter's shaking her head. She goes, I don't know, you played piano your whole life. And and you're starting out with the accordion? I don't understand, but it lends itself to such beautiful music. It's a reed instrument. And it has a drone. These are like integral kind of facets of music that people don't even aware that they love, but it's all in the accordion.
And you don't have stage fright anymore, do you?
Or
do you?
I guess. My mother was a musician too, a professional musician, and she said it's always good to have a little bit of stage fright.
That's true. That's so true. Yeah. Bruce, what's your story? Where did your love of the accordion come from?
I was a music fan and all, and I don't play the accordion, but a friend of mine came back from Hungary. She spent study abroad, and she brought this little red accordion, and I sort of made fun of it or something, and she said, here, and she put it in my lap, and I tried one big chord and sort of went on it, and it just creates this big physical vibration that kind of rattles your whole cavity, your whole torso. And I just went, and I shook my whole body, and I just went, Lawrence Welk did a terrible, terrible thing. And it changed my whole life since then. It took a while, but I started collecting and listening to music and picking out accordion tracks and being like, oh, that you could play it in a reggae song, and this record, and oh my gosh, and here's the band. I'll go listen. There's an accordion band coming, and here's a Norwegian group, and it's in a rock band. And sort of over the next 20 years, I started making a collection that kind of picked it into different musics. And then when I moved to Canada, I couldn't work because I couldn't get a visa, for a while I was doing immigration for 4 years. So as I got my immigration together, I had an opportunity to get a radio show at the local community radio station at Co-op Radio down the street here. And I was talking all the time with my friends about the radio or about accordions. And I said, maybe I should get a radio show or something. And my kid's mom said, that might be a good idea. Get you out of the house. And so me and my friends started a radio show. I mentioned it to my friend Rowan, and he said, that idea is preposterous. Of course we should do that.
Well, you've got, what did I say, 26,000 songs in your collection? So that's wild.
It all kind of grew. All these things compounded on each other.
So Jillian also does a radio show, and because you just came from doing a 2-hour special with accordion music.
I did. I have a regular show on CFCR on Monday mornings, and I do the jazz show on Thursday, and I have played many accordion jazz music on the jazz show too. And this morning, and that was my whole point. And Bruce, which I have to say, I'm a big fan. I love your book. And if you were here right now, I would be like that fan. I'd fangirl all over you and get you to sign it because I love the book and your show as well. But I did 2 hours of recording just to show people, although Saskatchewan, we're entrenched in polka, and I don't dissuade polka, but it's one extraordinarily small facet of what the accordion is involved in. I played today. I played Igor, which is like heavy metal trip hop music with accordion as a bass. I played Eastern European music from Rome. I also played music from a prog rock band, from a country band, from jazz, and also classical. I played Fanny Vicente playing Bach's Goldberg variations. And then at the end of the 2 hours, I'm like, well, I didn't even scratch the surface. I could probably do an accordion month and just keep playing like multifaceted music. It's
I love it.
It's all over the place.
Well, you are going to play your accordion in a bit. We'll get to that. And I want to alert people that we are streaming live on YouTube today, so you can see us. You'll be able to see the accordion. And so you can find that by going to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube page. Taryn, I want to ask you, do you go beyond the scope of sort of the traditional polka? Does your love of accordion Any genre? Does that any genre work for you?
Yeah, I mean, my two main loves are polka and punk rock, and so with that, there are bands that Jillian actually played a band called the Dreadnoughts this morning on their show that includes accordion in their music, which is fantastic. You see it in a lot of Celtic folk punk as well.
Yeah.
But you know what? When my brain really widened and I really got into more styles of accordion was reading Bruce's book and listening to the Accordion Noir radio show and just being utterly fascinated and enthralled with the history and the stories and how much it has been intertwined in the music culture for decades. And so I got to credit Bruce for that, because that really changed my whole perspective. Even though equally still as in love with polka as I once was, it was Bruce that really set off that fire in my heart.
Okay, well, I do want to start with some polka. Let's do that. Okay, Taryn, you've picked a few accordion songs for us today. Do you want to tell us about Melville's Len Gadiza?
Yeah, so the thing about polka is that a lot of times you have your core pioneers, and a lot of the polka musicians will actually, do their own versions of the songs, which we're going to talk about one later, but obviously, TikTok polka, beer barrel polka, and stuff like that. But Len is fascinating because not only has he been playing the accordion for decades, all of his compositions are original. So everything written by Len Gadiza is 100% pure Gadiza. And so he's done all these great albums, and still today, if you were to follow and see what polka fests are coming up in Saskatchewan in the summer and this year, there's a 99% chance that Len Gadiza will be playing at it. So one of the most expensive documentaries ever made in our province was in 99, and it was called They Live to Polka. And Len is in that documentary, and he's still doing that same work today. And he's an accordion teacher. So without any further ado, here's Len Gadiza with Razzle Dazzle Polka.
There you go. Len Gadiza with the Razzle Dazzle Polka. You can catch him live at the Saskatoon Riverside Dance Club, the Royal Canadian Legion number 63 on Saturday. That's May 11th. He's also playing this summer at the 8th Annual Polka Fest in Rollo. I'm Leisha Grabinski. This is Blue Sky. We are marking World Accordion Day today. We're having some fun with this. And one of our guests is Jillian Snyder, who is with me here in our Saskatoon studio. I do want to alert people again, we're on YouTube, so they can watch you play this, but you've got your accordion with you.
I do.
You're going to strap it on.
Yeah, one of many. That's one thing I thought it was interesting when Jess said that she's got her mom's in the closet. Well, the wonderful thing about being an accordion player when there aren't a lot where you live, that all the accordions that are in people's closets end up in my house.
Of course they do.
So I have a wonderful collection of Titano and Scandali, 48-button, 120-button. I probably have about 7 accordions. I did sell the Roland accordion.
Yeah.
That was the one I played in the prog rock band with. But Roland, that's just a little interesting aside story. Roland, the founder of the company, is an accordion player. And he said, we're putting out a Roland accordion. And everybody on the board, everyone's saying, like, no way are you putting out an accordion. He says, I don't care what you think. I don't even care if it sells. But we're putting out a Roland accordion. It's an incredible machine because it's a synthesizer but still has the bellow. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But that's what this is.
I love that you know about that, though. That's just like so interesting. So before you play, do you remember the first song that you ever learned on the accordion?
I do. I can play it for you, actually. And if I can, and now it's like, oh, now I'm all nervous. My lovely dear friend, Rick McConnell, he's entrenched. He's entrenched. I keep using that word, but he's Ukrainian, and I mean, and his. So when I first got this accordion, and I play the piano, and as I said, music theory nerd, so I can fathom what it is. I kind of can understand bellow going out, bellow going in. And he said, "Well, here's a song for you." And he plays this song on his guitar. He goes, "You could probably learn this one easy enough." And I kind of figured it out. So this is the first song I ever learned on the accordion.
I love it. Take it away, Jillian.
Okay. Now it does go on, but I can stop there.
I didn't want you to stop. I was like fully into
dancing
it.
starts, but that is it's interesting. You're talking about like polkas because Taryn loves the polka. It's part of his past. My father and my grandfather were both professional musicians. My grandfather, when he came from Poland, Jewish, but he directed the Judea orchestra, and he wrote a lot of music, and he played the accordion too. And of course, I didn't want anything to do with it when I was like a little kid, but every song that I write on the accordion seems to sound like a Yiddish folk song. I don't know how. It's whether it's just coming out in my DNA or whether it's just the instrument lends itself. And when Rick showed me that Ukrainian song, it was just, this is just so beautiful, and it just made me fall in love with the instrument even more.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Jillian. Don't put it away. Keep it out. But we have some people on the line. So let's go to Linda, who joins us right now near Kenora. Hi, Linda.
Well, hello, and thank you for celebrating this very important day. My phone has been pinging all morning saying, Linda, you're finally getting some respect. They are featuring your instrument that I've been playing for the last, 65 years, I guess.
Oh.
So thank you.
Yeah, well, what made you pick it up? 65 years? That's
Probably in my day, we lived on the farm, and I sort of considered the accordion as a failed piano because that's what I really wanted to play, but my folks couldn't afford it, and so bought me this little 12 bass, which I started in. My first performance was a live radio show, the ACT Amateur Hour at the Rainbow Hall in Kenora when I was 7 years old, and I think the whole piece took about, 45 seconds. And then my stockings fell down, and I couldn't leave the stage, and I started to cry, and my mother came and got me, and I won second prize. So there you go, and I've been playing ever since. I studied classical accordion music for many years, and that's mainly what I play now. But we have family gatherings very often, and people bring their instruments, and we play it just for fun. So it's nice to have the accordion recognized for all the very many genres that it can excel in.
I love it. Thanks so much for calling, Linda. I really appreciate that.
And by the way, not Titano, it's Hohner. I have to say, that's my brand.
Oh, is it? That's funny because I don't have a Hohner accordion. I have mostly just Titano for classical repertoire and the Scandali Musette for all the other wonky stuff, which is more the stuff that I play. I admire you for playing classical repertoire. I have a book and I play Ave Maria. That's when I really want to sort of get that, but I do not excel at it at all.
I love this.
Thanks for the program, and it's lots of fun.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
take care, Linda. Bye. Love that. That was Linda joining us from near Kenora. So, I think a lot of folks might think of the accordion as a bit of an old-timey instrument, but not if you hear 11-year-old Camille Smella play. He lives in Regina, and we had his mom, Irina Smella, ask him some questions.
My name is Camille Smella. I am 11 years old, and I've been playing the accordion for 5 years.
Why do you like to play accordion?
I enjoy playing music that is fast and lively and makes you want to dance.
What do you like about playing the accordion?
I like playing the accordion because it is not a common instrument and I can play all types of music on it. It's also very portable, so I can take it with me wherever I go.
What do your friends think?
My friends think it's cool because it's different and not too many people play it.
What is special about the accordion?
With the accordion, I can play both the melody and the harmony at the same time. To play the accordion, you need to open and close the bellows so the air can come in and out to create music.
How does it help you stay connected to your culture?
Many traditional folk songs and dances are best played on the accordion. By learning and playing these songs, I can connect with my Polish culture and share them with others to enjoy.
There you go, an accordion tune played by 11-year-old Camille Smela in Regina. I'm Leisha Grabinski. This is Blue Sky. It is World Accordion Day. Call us with your stories about the instrument maybe you play, maybe you just love to listen to the music. Our number is 1-800-716-2221. You can also email bluesky@cbc.ca. Let's go to Jesse Anton, who joins us right now with a look at today's news headlines. Hi, Jesse.
Hello, Leisha, and I want to tell you about a rainfall warning currently in the southwest corner of the province. Now, this includes Shaunavon, Maple Creek, Val-Marie, Cypress Hills. Environment Canada says those areas can expect between 50 and 75 millimeters of rain by Wednesday morning. So the Weather Office does warn these heavy downpours will likely cause some flash floods and water pooling on roads. So do be mindful of that if you are in the southwest. And as we talk about flash floods, the city of Regina says it's tired of people driving through a flooded Albert Street underpass. So it's installed a new sensor and it'll activate do not enter signs when there's a risk of any flooding. Traffic lights around the underpass will also turn red now. We'll have more on this story and much more, Alicia, coming your way in about half an hour.
Okay, Jesse, thank you.
You're welcome.
That is the CBC's Jesse Anton. I'm Leisha Grabinski. You are listening to Blue Sky here on CBC Radio 1. We've got a few guests with us who love the accordion. Taryn Cochran, our colleague and an accordion lover. Bruce Triggs, who's got quite the story here about how he loves the accordion. He helped get the accordion emoji. Oh my goodness, I'm going to ask him about that right away. And then we also have with us Jillian Snyder, who's in the Saskatoon band, the Whiskey Jerks, sitting next to me with her accordion and just making my day with that. So thank you. Bruce, we got to get to this. You're the one responsible for the accordion emoji? How did that happen?
Well, we had talked about an accordion emoji and how that would be funny. And my radio co-host on the Accordion Noir radio show, Rowan, he knows more about computers and had mentioned how there's a lot of paperwork and it's a process and had sort of discouraged because it sounded like a big deal. But I saw a couple of stories about the emoji process, and there's an organization called Emoji Nation, which is less an organization, and there's a website, emojination.com, you can go to, and it was brought together by people who wanted to popularize the emoji process, and basically they did the hijab emoji and some other emojis that sort of tried to diversify the emojis that were available to people. and some more foods emojis and different things, multicultural emojis, and basically help people to do emojis. So I got in there, and they helped me to do the process and basically do a proposal. It's kind of like a academic proposal. Or a grant proposal.
You had to make the case for why we needed this in our lives.
Exactly. And I've written my book on the accordion. I kind of want to do a book about emoji proposals because I think they're quite funny. They're like a form of literature. Some people have written articles about specific proposals. There's a quite funny article about the beaver proposal, which was written. It's an article about the beaver proposal being a cooperation between Canadians and lesbians who wrote the beaver proposal successfully. A true story. And
So getting back to the accordion.
Exactly.
What I want to know now, knowing how big of a fan. Okay, I'll let you finish. Yeah.
Was done, and the proposals, are you do this kind of academic proposal that's very serious, and if you're successful, you get a tiny little cartoon on billions of people's electronics.
So, which leads to my next question: is Taryn, how often are you using that one? The accordion emoji.
I use it quite a bit. I just use it now on our YouTube on the live feed. Yeah.
There you go.
It's fantastic. Thank you, Bruce.
I wanted to thank Bruce for that. I use it more than any other emoji. In fact, it was going to be my next tattoo was your emoji.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
And are you using it literally or like what? What?
Well, the thing is, like, I mean, every time, because I play the accordion in a lot of bands, and even with the Whiskey Jerks, whenever I'm on social media, like that's how you're talking about your shows, I use it shamelessly. If anybody says, why are you on social media? It's shameless self-promotion for like the music. And so every time it's always like music notes and accordion emoji, accordion emoji, accordion emoji. Like always.
Oh my goodness. That makes me laugh.
I love it. That's insightful.
When you go to the emoji, it's my top emoji as well, you know.
Well, we've got another caller on the line.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working on another emoji. I've got some colleagues that I'm working with to do a phonograph record player, the antique record player with the little cone on top.
That would be cool.
That would be great.
Yeah, that seems like it would be useful. Kind of, I've got down that it would be a combination of, for people want a vinyl record play, a vinyl disc, which is, you know, we want an antique thing that nobody uses. It's a fad, but it'll be a combination for like old fashioned things, and you could use it for OK Boomer, and you could use it for all the antique things.
Yeah, love that, Bruce. Love that.
And all these metaphorical old things, because there's a bunch of emojis for things like there's a beeper emoji, and there's
well, see, I think we have it all now that we have the accordion one. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm not trying to dissuade you, but at the same time, I'm like, we're good. Like we got it. I want to go to our next caller who joins us now from Regina. We've got Wendy on the line. Hi, Wendy. At least I think we have Wendy. Oh, sorry.
Hi.
Say that again. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I just said I love the accordion emoji.
I think anybody who's calling into the show will say that. So you play, right, Wendy?
Yeah, so the accordion came to me only a couple of years ago. When I met my husband, he came from Ukraine as a teenager, and one of the things he brought with him was a button accordion, and that was my first real introduction to all the things an accordion could do. And he persuaded me to join a folk orchestra, which accompanied Ukrainian dancers out of Regina. And with them, I was able to pick up the accordion, and I play other instruments. I play all sorts of things, but we're talking about accordion. So I was able to pick it up with some piano background, and we went on a big tour. We went to Spain and Portugal. We played, I think it was something like 18 shows in 21 days across Europe. And then we came back from that adventure, and we decided we wanted to start our own Ukrainian folk-inspired band. So we have a new band, and if I'm allowed to talk about them, I would love to. Okay, so we have a band called Hutzel Drive out of Regina, and I think I heard, was it Taryn talking about how he loves this punk and polka kind of combo. And so we are trying to do a little bit of that ourselves. So we have a lot of traditional Ukrainian melodies from folk history, and we are mixing them with kind of ska and punk and a little bit of pop. And we are planning a performance on the 17th of May at the Artesian.
Wonderful.
And we are going to have a traditional polka player there with us, James Hardy. He's going to open the show. And then we're really excited to have our first big standalone performance where we showcase what we've been working on.
I feel like Jillian's going to be in the front row after here.
No, I am. And actually, that's really cool. And plus, because I host a radio show, and I'm always looking for bands to play, especially local Saskatchewan bands to play as well. So I hope that Alicia wrote that name down.
I did. Well, we've got a song. We're going to play a song right now, so now you can listen.
So great.
So the band is named Hutzel Drive, and then I think I'm going to attempt this pronunciation. We've got Nessie Halia Vodu. Did I say, how did I do?
Good.
Pretty good? Okay. Well, that's what we're going to play. So,
and you can get them to our Accordion Noir radio show. We'll play them out here in Vancouver, too.
Look at that. Wendy, good thing you called. Okay. Thanks for calling, Wendy, and we'll play that song now, okay?
Thanks so much.
All right. Take care. Here's Hutzel Drive with Nessie Halia Vodu.
В'ється, а за неї Іванко, як барвінок в'ється. Галю ж я Галю, дай води напіться. Ти ж така хороша, дай хоч подивиться. Ти ж така хороша, дай хоч подивиться. Я буду в садочку, прийди подивися. Прийшов у садочок, зозуля кувала. А ти ж мене, Галю, та й не шанувала. А ти ж мене, Галю, та й не шанувала. Барвінку буду поливати, вернися, Іванку, буду шанувати, вернися, Іванку, буду шанувати. Несе Галя воду, коромисло гнеться, а за нею Іванко, як барвінок в'ється, а за нею Іванко, як барвінок в'ється. Галю ж моя Галю, дай води напіться, ти ж така хороша, дай хоч подивиться. Ти ж така хороша, дай хоч подивиться.
Okay, now there you go. I spoke too soon.
That was that lovely little pause, dynamic
Yeah.
variation. It's wonderful.
Taryn, did you like that one?
Heaven is a place on earth, Leisha. That was fantastic. I loved it a lot. It was very good. I just can't imagine seeing it live. So May 17th, looking forward to it.
Wow.
Yeah, should be fun. Okay, well, we've got another caller on the line, another accordion player who knew there were so many. So let's go to Lisa in Regina. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Happy World Accordion Day.
Yeah, same to you.
Yeah, I just had to call in because, hey, accordions, what's not to love? I love how I'm never alone when I have my accordion with me, unless I want to be, of course, The accordions are very powerful. They attract, they repel. They're so human. They're such a relatable, accessible instrument. And I also love how you can't take yourself seriously, and even if you try, your friends won't let you. So, accordion playing is it's got everything.
Lisa, I'm told that you'll often walk around your neighborhood and play just to add a little bit of cheer.
Oh, well, yes, I do. I have. It sort of started during the pandemic when it was a safe, accessible thing to do, and it just hasn't stopped.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I was thinking for World Accordion Day in the past, on a weekend, we've some friends and I have played elsewhere, but I think maybe I'll just, when I get home from work tonight, I might go and sit on my front step and play or something like that.
Sounds like a great porch party. Do you have any favorites, or what are you drawn to most when it comes to music that features accordions?
Oh, gosh. Really, I like it all. The previous callers were talking about the punk accordion, and so that sort of tickled my fancy lately, but also the traditional music. I spent some time in Ireland and the Scottish music, and so that always tugs at the heartstrings. But I mean, again, it's so flexible. You can, once your ear is attuned, you can pick it out of all kinds of recorded music that you're listening to. And so, yeah, it's hard to pin it down. They're all my favorites.
And you find it as a way to bring people together.
Yes, indeed. And if it's the kind of person who doesn't like the accordion, I don't want to know them anyway.
You're here.
Yeah. Lisa, it's been great chatting with you. I wish I was in Regina so I could walk by your place as you play the accordion. That sounds delightful.
For sure.
Thanks for calling in. Bye.
Bye.
That is Lisa joining us from Regina. You can call in too if you've got a story, 1-800-716-2221. You could also email bluesky@cbc.ca. I'll share a couple of emails that we got. So Lawrence writes, I have an accordion or two in the closet waiting to be rediscovered. When I do start again after a 50-year absence, my first interest is to learn how to play Zydeco music. In the early 80s, Queen Ida and the Bon Temps Zydeco Band took the Winnipeg Folk Festival by storm and had all the main stage audience on their feet dancing. Thanks for the show on the accordion. It just may ignite my interest again. And then Keith writes, Congos is a South African American alternative rock group of four brothers. Their song Come With Me Now includes a great accordion solo and made it to #1 on the Billboard Alternative Songs chart. Bruce, do you know about that? Actually,
Yeah,
the two that are mentioned there.
2010 was 2010 was probably, I think, the last of the most recent of the Year of the Accordion revival renewals, which is kind of a reoccurring theme that keeps happening. There's a cycle of return of the accordion renewal revival year that keeps happening, and we're kind of due for another one. 2010-ish, there was the Decemberists and the Congos both had #1 records around then for like a little while. And the Decemberists have a new record coming out, so we'll see how that one does. But the polka actually has a bicentennial coming up. And the polka was sort of invented. The original polka mania was in the 1830s. And then it swept the globe. It was this massive, massive hysteria in the 1830s. The polka mania, they called it, and people wrote articles. It was sort of a concern. And then in the 1930s, the polka was again a hysteria. Young people were, losing their minds, and the beer barrel polka saved the recording industry during the Great Depression.
Really?
Yeah, like the recording industry was tanking and jumping out of windows and everything, and the beer barrel polka was the nickels going into the jukeboxes. It was the record that saved the recording industry.
Oh my goodness, that's a great story. I didn't know that. So interesting.
So we're due for, the 2030s are coming up. and so the polka, maybe, so the 11-year-old who was just on is going to be the age. So keep practicing.
My kids too. Okay, well, I love this. Love this.
And you'll be there. And the polka is the 2-beat. I always look at like ska music, and the punk ska thing is like this close to the polka. And so punk, ska, polka, you're like right there. Just kind of bridge that gap. You get a norteño band, polka, ska thing, and you'll be there, and you just kind of slide that polka, ska, punk thing, and you'll be the hit.
The hit.
And
I want to go back
you'll
to...
be the beer barrel polka 2036, and boom.
My fingers are crossed.
Hit record.
My fingers are crossed.
Somebody's going to do it. You'll be the Macarena of 2036
hey, we
polka.
Also danced to that on Saturday night,
That's
too.
my prediction.
I love this.
Polka mania.
Polkamania. I want to hear a song from the Whiskey Jerks, Jillian, but we did get someone who called in, Elda, who was asking what classical accordion music sounds like. Can you play that, or is it?
If you really want to, I don't want to venture into that because I would not do it justice.
Fair enough.
But Fanny Vicen, she was in Saskatoon last summer, was brought here from France, and she did Goldberg Variations, and it was beautiful. You can also look up Fanny Vicen, that's Vicen, and also Alexander Sebastian. Sadly, he passed away too young, and he does a lot of Bach. Michael Bridges, he's from Toronto, a young fellow, and he does like Vivaldi's Four Seasons, and he plays a lot of classical repertoire. And I play a lot of it on the radio too. Just it's beautiful, beautiful renditions of these pieces and reinterpretations of them. Yeah,
love that. Well, let's now play something from the Whiskey Jerks. Okay, so we have the song "Run" standing by. Do you want to just quickly set it up before we play it?
Sure. Well, this is, kind of the very opening is just using the heavy bass buttons. And then it goes into, when we're talking about ska, it just sort of came out that way, that it ends up sort of having this ska feel and ska rhythm. And people, when we're playing this song, and in the band too, I've learned almost how to how to do the clogging while I'm playing the accordion. But I definitely jump up and down a lot. And I do in this song when we perform a lot.
Okay. Well, we're on YouTube right now. People can see us. If we want to jump up and down, I give us full permission to embrace this song. Okay, so let's listen to it. This is the Whiskey Jerks with Run.
Giving over the afternoon, wearing guilt like perfume. All the things I said I'd do have all been lured away. I'll leave it till tomorrow and pretend I'm here to stay. to come is sweet bourbon on my tongue, brown sugar on my spoon, sweating out our memories throughout the afternoon. And all the while, despite the fun, oh, I'm doing my best not to run. Oh, I'm doing my best, oh, not to run. Oh, despite the fun, oh, I'm doing my best not to run. Oh, I'm doing my best till the last song's been
The Whiskey Jerks with their song Run. We've got Jillian Snyder with me here in studio, who was just telling me the accordion you're playing on that song, a $40 yard sale purchase?
My friend got it at a yard sale. This is when I first started playing the accordion, and I had Sonia's mom's, but they bought this $40, they paid $40 for it, and then I kind of borrowed it and never gave it back. But I toured with that with the Great Train Reverie. I toured with Whiskey Jerks, with Ray Elliott Band. So it's been like, with Malika Salami, who's a wonderful French-Canadian. She lives here in Saskatoon. So as far as Quebec City on tour, I nearly threw it off the mountain in Montreal because it kept breaking, and it was like held together with duct tape and love. But
Duct tape and love. That's all you need. That's all
I
you
had
need.
my little kit, my little fixing first aid accordion kit that I had to carry with me all the time. Just a little funny thing with the opening, when I was on tour with the Great Train Reverie, the very first house concert, that's when I was just starting to play. It was the first band that I played in with the accordion. And, I did a couple of solo things, and it goes, you have to just keep playing. I tell my own students, piano students, I just keep on playing, don't stop. Yeah. But at the end, a woman said, well, that was a house concert. That was just a lovely concert. The accordion, it's a very unforgiving instrument, isn't it? And I'm like, yes, it is.
Well, I still have a lot of love for it, and it's been so fun having you in studio today, Jillian. Thank you. And big thanks to Taryn Cochran as well, and Bruce Triggs, who came up with the accordion emoji. I think we're going to end with some music. So, well, actually, I'm going to share an email, and then Taryn, you're going to set up the song. So Darlene writes, thanks so much for today's show. I love the accordion and actually have two in my possession. I played the piano and thought, how hard can it be to play the accordion? Harder than I thought. I'd really like to find some lessons to help me get on the right track, but haven't found anyone yet. In the meantime, I'll keep squeezing. Thank you, Darlene. So, Taryn, what are we going to end on here?
Well, I wanted to celebrate the diversity of the accordion today and not just polka, so here's a Brazilian choro. It's Matt DeFlorio doing Tico Tico on the first ever episode of CBC's Holiday Ranch in 1953.
Well, okay, Matt DeFlorio.
Have a good day.
Your friend's house done, huh?